What are you willing to sacrifice to get where you need to go? Like he said, you gotta have private wins. And I love that, right? Because what's a private win? Like he didn't really explain it, but I'll explain it to you. A private win is what you're doing that people are not seeing, right? At the gym, nobody's there with you at the gym, but they see the results. So the private win is what you're doing in the dark. So that could be working out, that could be eating healthy, that can be, practice. Like, what are you practicing every day in your room, in the car, as you walk to get to the place you need to go? Because remember, you only see the results of people, right? So when you look at millionaires, you don't look at their struggle. You don't look at what they went through. You don't know what they're going through in the dark, whether it's sickness, family, health, how much practice they're putting in and day out to achieve that goal, right? So then, and just to segue into that, right? He was talking about, phenomenal skill is something that God gave you. So what's your phenomenal skill? What is it that comes naturally to you that you never had to practice? So I want you to really think about that yourself. Like, are you really good at talking? Are you really good at finances? Are you really good at, looking at people and reading a room? Are you really good at networking? Are you really good at marketing, branding? What is it that you're naturally good at that you didn't have to go to school for or practice? And that's where the phenomenal skill is. And then the second thing is, he said, then you got to have phenomenal will. So you have to think about it. We always say that we're better than someone or something, right? Like, oh, I make better burgers than them, or I make better, right? I give better advice than them. I'm a better speaker than them. But what separates you from them is probably, and I promise you, this is probably 9 times out of 10, they have phenomenal will. They're talking about it every day. They're practicing every day. They're in front of people every day, right? They're moving and ripping and running. But because you think naturally that you're good, that it's just going to come to you, but that's not the point. You have to go to them in order to achieve these wins day in and day out. So just going into text, and with that, I'm not sure if you read the book. If you haven't, read it. It's called Think and Grow Rich, right, by Napoleon Hill. And I'm gonna give some points from the book that they talked about that can go into the phenomenal skill and phenomenal will. So if you're writing, write this down. So the first one is achievement starts with a burning desire. Do you have that burning desire to win? Do you have that burning desire to achieve what it takes? Because Eric Thomas said it himself, right? You gotta have discipline. There's 365 days out the year, and there's going to be a lot of days where you do not feel like doing anything. So that burning desire has to come in and say, listen, I may not feel like it today, but I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to eat. I'm going to practice, even when you don't feel like it. And that's where that burning desire is, like, how much do you want it? The second thing is, start now with what you have and find better tools along the way, right? So, and I'll give you an example. Like, I'm about to start a podcast, and it took me a year. Like, I wanted to do this a year ago, but I'm looking at all the equipment. I'm looking how to, do this and the third, but I need to just start with what I have and what I know and just grow from there. See, we tend to think we need everything in place, but that's not how you get moving. Start what you have. And what I have for this podcast, I have a voice. right? Because that's what you need for a podcast. I have a phone. There's free apps out there. I could have just went out there, but I'm too stuck in my head saying, oh, I need A through Z to start it. But no, just start from where you're at, and it will develop and grow as it comes along. The third thing is show the world what you will do instead of telling them. See, we get stuck in talking about it too much. We need to stop talking and start doing, right? And this goes back to just starting now, your burning desire, and just show the world. And I will say, yes, tell maybe two or three people at most, because you need somebody to hold you accountable, but you need to just do it. And it will grow. It will get progressively better. And things will start falling into place as time goes by. The fourth thing is happiness is found in doing, not possessing. Meaning, like, we want the cars, we want the watches, we want the chains, but those are materialistic things, and those things can always change, right? Because they will always be like, right now I got a 2021 car, but now the 2023 car is coming out. So I lose that satisfaction because now they got better features. But where I continue to get satisfaction from what I did a year ago is when I give with love, and not expecting anything back in return. When I give to charity, when I give to church, when I instill positive messages into you, knowing that it's going to carry out beyond these 30 minutes that we're together. So happiness is found by doing, not possessing. The fifth thing is persistence will beat every failure. Persistence will beat every failure. Yes, you will fail, but if you keep on getting up, you will win. You may get knocked down 9 times, but on the 10th time you get up, that win will overshine any of the loss that has happened in the past. And sometimes you only need to win once, right? You will have multiple wins and everything, but sometimes you only need to win once. And from there, the doors will open. So make sure you stay persistent. The sixth thing is weak desire brings weak results. Weak desire bring weak results. The first thing I mentioned is you got to have a burning desire. So how strong is that burning desire? Because if you have a weak desire, that means you're putting weak effort towards it. So what you think your results will be? It will be weak, and it will either not last as long as you want it, right? And have no stability, or it will not sustain the real results you were looking for, right? So you might have some gratification towards it, but it may only last a day versus a year. So keep that strong burning desire. The seventh thing is 99% quit from temporary defeat, right? So this all ties in together. Like, you may have been knocked down, but it's temporary. It may not have worked the first time. It's temporary, right? These defeats that go on is all temporary. Oh, I didn't get the promotion. It's temporary. Something better is coming for you. These defeats, again, 99% of people is quit. But if you don't quit, I can promise you right now, if you don't quit, you will win. So don't quit. The eighth thing is you're not paid from what you know. You're paid for what you do with what you know. Right? I'm going to repeat that again because I don't want that to go over people's heads. You're not paid for what you know. You're paid for what you do with what you know. Right? I'm gonna give you another phrase for this, right? Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. I'll give you another example. Like we go to school, we learn all these things, and we walk out and think, hey, listen, I got my degree. Where's my $100,000? That's not how it works. Once you take in this information, when you take this information that I'm giving to you right now, like how are you going to apply it after we get off this call? How are you going to implement it in your life for it to be effective? And once you start implementing, it will gain results. When you start gaining results, then you'll start getting paid. And remember, paid doesn't necessarily mean money either. Paid could be growth within to get to your next level. So I just want to be clear that paid doesn't have to be money. Two more things. 9, continuously pursue knowledge, right? Always continue to grow in every area of your life. Continuously pursue your knowledge. Just because I know how to cook Italian food, now that I know how to cook Italian food, I'm going to learn how to cook Spanish food. Now I'm going to learn how to cook French food. Continuously pursue that knowledge, especially because now we're in a world where things are always revolving and changing. So we want to keep up to date on what's going on. And pursuing knowledge is, again, not just your job, but in your health, your finances, and anything in between. Just always continue to grow, because if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not growing, you're dying. And then the last thing of this is failure is always temporary. Again, going back to number 7, 99% of people quit from temporary defeat, but you also have to know that failure is always temporary. If you're failing forward, right? And you're not failing back. If you fail at something, right? And I don't like to use the word failure, but if it did not work, right? If it did not work, you've learned something, right? Remember I forgot what it's called, the 7 steps to the theory, the science thing, right? You do all these steps, and the last step is, does it work, right? And if it doesn't work, what happens? You go back to the top and try again. Now you're knowing what's not working. So when you get the things that do work, it worked, and you continue chopping away at what does work. All right, so that's what I want to leave you with today. All right, Think and Grow Rich was the book of those bullet points. So definitely read that book if you have it. Again, have a great day. I want y'all all the win as usual. When you get off this call, remember to show gratitude. Call somebody you love today and just tell them thank you, and have a nice day, everybody.